Hi, friends. Whoa, we got the mic way back here. Whoa, hello. There she goes. How are y'all? It's Friday. It's my birthday. Elite having a birthday on Friday. Just saying. What are you guys doing this weekend? My half sister's in town. I'm really excited about it. She lives in Montana, so I don't see her that often. My mom's making ribs, my favorite, on Sunday. Until then, we're not really doing much. A lot of indoor plans because we're going to see rounds of storms, okay? I think today we'll only see isolated storms. And we're just getting new data in that's suggesting the line of storms tonight is going to be confined mainly to North Georgia. So if you're headed to the Braves game, we may get that game in. I'm going to show you the models I was showing earlier today. You're going to have to tune in to Atlanta News First at noon to get the newest model data from Rodney. We still are expecting storms with gusty winds, damaging winds across North Georgia after sunset tonight. And tomorrow, I still think we're going to see multiple rounds of rain and storms through the day. All right? So here's the storm track. We're watching it develop. There's this big cold front in the middle of the country. It has been so stormy across the Midwest for really all week. And you could see that enhanced level 3 risk extends all the way down from Houston all the way up into Kentucky. It also eclipsed the northwest portion of our state. Level 3 risk for severe weather. And this is really for damaging winds. We're not going to see tornadoes tonight, but we could see really, really gusty winds in the same areas that saw down trees from last night's storms. Chattooga, Somerville, Chattooga County, Floyd County, Rome. And then I added some other cities on the map that could see damaging winds, but I really actually think from Canton north, that's where the storm risk is going to be the highest. So Calhoun, Ellijay, Blairsville, Gordon County, maybe even Ackworth, Dawsonville, possibly even Marietta, Alpharetta, Roswell, Johns Creek, okay? Damaging winds around midnight tonight. We are seeing increasing clouds. I wanted to show you the dew point, 65 degrees. Y'all, it is humid. It's May 2nd. Why are our dew points in the mid-60s? That just tells you that's a measure of the moisture in there. There's a lot of moisture. It feels like summer thunderstorms. Okay, 78 degrees already. Jesus Christ. We might hit the mid-80s this afternoon. So I'm going with about a 30% chance of some thunderstorms bubbling up this afternoon. Not a huge deal, just your typical summertime pattern. It is after sunset. Honestly, I think after 9 p.m., really after 10, that we're going to see this line of storms arrive, okay? So starting out right now, we did see a few showers in the mountains this morning. Again, isolated storms mainly north of the city this afternoon and evening. Can't rule out stray strong storms, but the severe threat really increases along that main line, which will push in around 9 or 10 p.m. Reaches northwest Georgia, Rome, Ellijay. If you live in northwest Georgia, you're most certainly going to see that line move through tonight. I'm less convinced about Metro Atlanta. This is I'm showing you the 0Z HERS. This is 2 runs ago. That is still forecasting the storms to move in. I think this time frame is right, 11 p.m. to midnight. But I don't know about the coverage. This has widespread coverage. I think it really could be confined from Atlanta up to the north where we see the strongest storms and the most widespread storms. So if you live south of I-20, you might stay dry through the evening hours. And I'm not convinced Atlanta's going to see storms. But if they do, it'll be right around the time that the Braves game is ending, okay? Then let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, maybe a few showers in the morning, but we're going to see 2 real rounds of rain and storms tomorrow. The first will be in the middle of the day, 10 a.m. to about 1 p.m., couple hours of rain, just a gross kind of gloomy start to the day. Then we might see a little break in the rain and storms through the afternoon. Before the main line of storms moves in tomorrow night, it will be a quick moving line of storms, but it could pack a punch. This is right in time for dinner plans, the Derby, the Kentucky Derby race. We see that secondary line of storms along the cold front, which thereafter will bring a much drier air mass in, okay? So here's my best guess for tomorrow. Again, some rain around noon, late morning, early afternoon, then a little break, and then the line of additional storms around 8 or 9. I do not think that the risk of severe weather tomorrow is as high as tonight because we're not going to have the heat. The rain that comes through in the middle of the day probably going to stabilize the atmosphere. It keeps our temperatures in the 60s and 70s so we don't have as much heat to work with. So although those storms could have gusty winds, they're just not going to be quite as strong. Okay, that's the one piece of good news. Quite cool tomorrow, honestly. Sunday looks great. We may see some patchy dense fog in the morning, so you could wake up to some clouds, but those will clear out as that dry air settles in. Beautiful. So much less humid. Low 70s, just perfect. So I promise the end of the weekend will be better. And it looks like Monday, Tuesday of next week will also be great. Unfortunately, we're in what's called an omega block next week, which is a blocking pattern at about 18,000 feet in the atmosphere. We call it the 500 millibar level of non-divergence, if you will. It is the level we look at that really drives all weather. What we're going to have set up is two high-pressure systems are going to set up, and when a high and a low. When you have those, you have this blocking pattern, they just sit. They just sit. We were thinking previously that we were going to be on the good end of one of those low-pressure systems, and we were going to get this dry air coming in. It doesn't look like that omega block is going to be as strong. So although Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we get this strong northerly flow, stays dry, it's going to get pushed out at the end of the week with the return of more storms. I know. Why does it feel like every weekend lately we're getting storms? So we may see storms return for next weekend. Don't shoot the messenger. I also want to just mention, I hope you haven't packed your jackets away yet, because Monday, Tuesday mornings with that strong northwesterly flow, wow, look at these morning lows. 40s. Whoa. Crazy. Okay, y'all. So Ronnie, again, will have that new model data for you on Atlanta News First at noon. He is volunteered to work the noon show for me because it's my birthday. Best Coworker Award. I see all you guys saying happy birthday in the chat. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Wesley. So nice. You guys are great. I love my viewers. All right. Stay dry, stay cool, get outside on Sunday. It's going to be fantastic. And I will see you back here on Monday.